Close of play on the first day of this one-off test match at the start of the Women's Ashes sees Australia 328 for 7. They won the toss, elected to have a bat first. No question in Alyssa Healy's mind that that's what she wanted to do. And a day that was really punctuated by the efforts of Ellyse Perry, who made 99 before being caught by Nat Sciver-Brunt in the gully. And Sophie Ecclestone, for England, standout performer, bowled tirelessly. Really did work hard. 31 overs, 3 for 71. And at the end of all that, 328 for 7. Evenly enough poised. And what an entertaining day's cricket it has been. Alex Blackwell alongside me as we hear the hover cover revving up below us. And it has been entertaining, hasn't it? Where do you see this game at the close of all that?
Oh, look, I think it is evenly poised. I think England will be thrilled that they brought back the scoring rate of Australia, who were headed for 400. Ecclestone was unbelievable. The volume of bowling today, the 3 wickets, that quicker ball to get out. Captain Alyssa Healy was outstanding. So she's going to need a couple of ice baths, I would have thought, tonight and then tomorrow perhaps. But, she's done a terrific job for her team. Yeah,
Australia, and then with an opening stand. The start of this innings that was worth 35. Debutant Phoebe Litchfield made 23 before being out LBW to Kate Cross. First wicket of the Women's Ashes was actually... She shouldered arms and left it alone. Looked very out, but actually, if she'd reviewed it, wouldn't have been. It was one of those. Beth Mooney was caught by Cross off the bowling of Lauren Filer on debut. It was really impressive for England. She ended up picking up a couple of wickets, including, most importantly from England's perspective, Ellyse Perry for 99. Talia McGrath made 61, bowled by Sophie Ecclestone. Jess Jonathan was caught by Tammy Beaumont at short leg off the strap of the glove for 11. They reviewed it really quite half-heartedly, England, but it was a decision that was overturned, having been given out on the field. 2 balls later, Alyssa Healy was bowled by Ecclestone. Gardner and Sutherland played really nicely, putting on 77 before Gardner was caught by Amy Jones off the bowling of Lauren Bell for 40 just after the new ball was taken. And Sutherland on 39 alongside Alana King on 7, seeing Australia at the close of play to 328 for 7. 3 wickets, as I say, for Sophie Ecclestone, 2 for Lauren Filer and 1 apiece for Kate Cross and Lauren Bell. So that's how things are at stumps on day 1. And Alex, you would have thought that Alyssa Healy would, having won the toss and elected to bat first, in her mind would be thinking, bat once, bat long.
Oh, yeah, look, I think they'll be pretty happy with the total. I'm not sure too many test matches have been lost when you get over 300 in the first innings. So, they're pretty comfortable. It is a 5-day test match. There's a lot of cricket to be played. But having a bat first and getting a good total on the board, she'll be pretty happy. Not with her own performance, of course. As captain, she might have liked to contribute with the bat. But pretty good effort from the Aussies.
What about England's effort in the field? Because we say it often, but when there is test match cricket in the women's game, it's very unusual to be out there for 85 overs for these players, because the maximum they're used to playing, of course, is 50 overs. So it's a big physical effort as much as anything else.
Yeah, I think there was a moment in the game where England got up and about, and that's when the 3 wickets fell for 12 runs. But apart from that, they were a little bit flat, and I think that's reflective of the bowling effort. There wasn't the discipline required to put pressure on the batters. Just that 4 ball every over, and it's just some ill discipline at times. But I think they'll come out tomorrow, try and knock over these 3 wickets, and look forward to batting on this surface.
Have we seen enough, do you think, from the action today to think that this is a test match that'll be close enough? Have England, got the firepower perhaps to take 20 wickets across the 5 days?
I think their batting has probably got the depth, especially added Danny Wyatt in the middle order as well. A little bit concerning that second spinner isn't really there for England, and Ecclestone doing a huge workload, bowling about a third of the overs today. So that is a concern for England, I think, that ability to sustain pressure on the new batters with line and length, and then be able to pick up wickets through pressure.
And the question, I suppose, is if Sophie Eccleston can continue that workload come the second innings, and indeed tomorrow morning as well, because it is a titanic amount of work that she's having to do.
It's huge, and there are a few part-time options. Heather Knight herself, Dunkley had a bowl, a little bit loose there, but I liked that. I liked that Heather Knight went to a second spinner. Emma Lamb could bowl some offies as well, so they might need to look at that tomorrow.
Phil Long, our scorer, what have you got for us?
Well, Sophie Eccleston bowled 31 overs, as we mentioned today, a huge amount for women who aren't used to bowling, maybe more than 10, in a one-day game. She bowled 28 consecutive overs from one end. Another couple of observations, just the 9 maidens today, 6 of them bowled by Sophie Eccleston. Kate Cross, who started the day's play, finally managed to bowl a maiden in the last over of the day at 25 past 7. That's a long old day, isn't it? Just wanted to note, Natsiva Bunt, just the 5 overs from her today.
Thank you very much indeed, Phil. Alex Hartley's joined us as well, as has Catherine Sciver-Brunt, all part of the team watching this Test match on Test Match Special. Alex, what did you make of what we saw today? Clearly, those wickets much needed for England after tea, but it does feel like it's rather brought the game back into the balance.
Yeah, it does, and we were just next door saying pretty much similar that I think both teams will reflect on that and they'll go, you know what, we're happy with it. Australia, they'll go, we lost those 2 wickets in that one over, our captain's gone for a duck, could we have built partnerships there? But actually they've been aggressive in passages of play, they've really taken the England bowling attack on. England will say we've not bowled well in certain areas, but we've managed to get 7 wickets, so I actually think all in all a very even day.
You say they've not bowled well in certain phases. Where do you think that perhaps things have been a little lacklustre?
Yeah, well, I think we've had these aggressive fields and the catchers in and nobody out on the boundary, and then we've bowled too full and we've bowled too wide, and therefore that's easy runs for Australia and easy for them to build partnerships and get in. And once you're in on a wicket like this, it can be really hard to then get out because you're in, you're set, it's not doing anything, there's no demons in the wicket. There's a tiny bit of turn now from Eccleston, but it took a good 15, 16 overs for that to come into play from her. So, yeah, I think we've just bowled too full, too wide in certain areas.
The TMS Podcast.
Take the Ashes with you this summer. Hear every ball live on BBC Sounds. Money, glamour, politics, spying, violence, takeovers, kidnapping, and photocopying. This is sport's strangest crimes. From the man who tried to buy cricket.
One night, one game, winner take all, $20 million.
The kidnap of a super horse.
It must have been terrifying.
Of course it was. How we got through it, I don't know.
$1 trillion takeover, which never took off.
Fraudsters of this level, they will never stop.
And an ill-advised errand, changing F1 forever.
It will haunt the people involved for as long as they live.
Sport's strangest crimes. Listen on BBC Sounds.
The TMS Podcast.
Hear every ball of every match in the men's and women's Ashes live on Radio 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds.
Catherine Sciver-Brunt, what have you made of things today, particularly the bowling and a focus on that?
Similar to Al, actually, there's been passages of play from both sides, of brilliance, and that long spell from Sophie was brilliant. She's bowled with a lot of control today, and she's been brilliant in changes of pace. I've been really impressed from how long she's been able to hold that 4, and that has been crucial to not letting Australia reach 400 by the end of this day. She's absolutely the key to that. And the debutant, obviously, Lauren Filer, I've been very impressed from her. Never seen a bowl live from a viewpoint, if you like. I've seen a couple in the 100, but yeah, I've been really impressed with how she's run in and just been herself, not let the occasion get a hold of her, and she's made her mark now. Like she said, I'm here, this is what I can do. Elise Perry nearly got you out first ball, best batter that's ever been for Australia, probably by the end of her career. And so like I said, I've been really impressed across the board. I think we could have been and had more control throughout, that 99 runs that Perry did score, and that massive partnership between her and McGrath. But we're all human. We bowl bad balls. We like to get into spells. We like to get a rhythm going. And Catherine herself, before that last little 2 overs at the end, she would have been killing herself in the change room. I know it, because she's a perfectionist like the rest of us, and she just wouldn't have been happy with how she bowled at times. But like I said, she's had this horrible parasite. The girl's not even played cricket. Like, what you're seeing is a really special effort from her, and she will give you those long spells, those hard yards that the bowlers give you, and given time and a few more of it, she will be back on it, no problem.
What about that innings from Elise Perry then, Alex? We've seen her bat long in test matches before, but till she got out, and with that first ball, those were the only times really it felt like that she was in danger of getting out.
Yeah, when you think of Ashes test match cricket and you think of Australia, you just picture Elise Perry scoring so many runs, because she has time and time again. She's tough to get out, and she doesn't get bored of being boring. She's got a fantastic technique, and bar those 2 balls, she didn't look like getting out. And England, they have to toil away, and they have to just be patient when it comes to a batter like Perry. Today, I think she played in a completely different manner to what we've seen before. She was more aggressive, she did play more shots, but she was still so much in control until that very last ball.
Alex, it sometimes feels that, when she is a bit chained down, that she doesn't get too frustrated. Actually, she's happy just to be patient, wait for that loose delivery.
I think it was uncharacteristic today to see, obviously, get out on 99. We've not seen her not push through to 100 when she's in that 90s, but she hit 2 sort of uppish cut shots prior to getting out against Filer, and Nat Sciver-Brunt was in the game at Gully, and so to finally get out in that manner, I thought was a little bit disappointing. Look, you can't take away from that massive partnership she had with McGrath. I think she's, you'd take 99, wouldn't you? Most days, but you see her on the balcony there, and she's up and about for the team. She's not thinking about those personal milestones. She just gets in her lane, scores runs. I mean, she'll be happy with 99 or 199, whatever it is. Look, she's contributed today. From an England point of view, I would have liked them to go back to one-day cricket plans a little bit more. I think they were very aggressive with their field sets, and that hurt them because the discipline wasn't there with the ball. So if the discipline's not quite there, why don't you go down that one-day bowling plans, full and straight, cross seam, change of pace, fielders in front, just slow the game down. So I would have liked to see Nat Sciver-Brunt come back in, and she's the sort of bowler who can do that, stump to stump, cross seamers, see if it just takes a bit out of the pitch and stays low.
I do think we should have seen Nat more. She bowled 5 overs, and yes, she was expensive, but she only bowled 5 overs. She's been a brilliant bowler for England for so many years now. I would have liked to have seen her come back into the attack, and maybe then given Eccleston a break, and she didn't have to bowl 28 overs in the spin.
Yeah, I mean, inside info, she does have been struggling with a little bit of a knee thing, so there's a little bit of management there. Just to let everyone know.
That probably makes sense.
But
then.
also, she is going to be leaned on a lot with the bat also, and there is a possibility that she could bat for a long time. I hope so. So it swings and roundabouts in that you've got to manage people who will have a heavy load. Nat could potentially, if fully fit, have had a massive workload within this test match going into T20's ODIs. You've really got to be careful and mindful of what's to come, and that is what they're going to have to do with Eccles, definitely.
Well, with that then, do you think that they've picked the right balance of the bowling lineup? Because, another person to take that load off would be handy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know going forward what their plan's going to be with Nat. She'll say she's fine. So I would think from this point on, she will bowl a lot more, given that she's bowling well. Obviously, if she's not bowling well, we don't want to see her bowl much, do we? But there will become a point where you might see Emma Lamb, you might see Heather Knight, we might see more of Sophia Dunkley. And so, yeah, there are options if this game does start going into the dirt,
Alex, what if England's attitude out there, and a lot was spoken about fearless cricket from from the coach when we spoke to him last night on the No Balls live show, and he said, I want them to go out there and enjoy themselves and remove that fear. Did you see that in the behaviour, the faces, the fielding today?
Yeah, definitely. I think when they were getting pumped all around the ground, they stuck to those aggressive plans, didn't they? And stuck to those fields. I mean, no bowler enjoys going for loads of runs. You know, Crossy, when she's gone for 16 and over, isn't thinking, woo, how good was that? You're going to be annoyed and you're going to be angry, but I think they were brave today, which we haven't necessarily seen before.
So you're encouraged by that in terms of the message from the coach being reflected in the performance on the team?
Yeah, of course, because in the World Cup back in South Africa, the T20 World Cup, when England were under the pump, they went back to being defensive, and he was talking about that last night, and we were asking, well, what's going to be the difference? How are they going to keep attacking? And he said, that's the lesson. South Africa's the lesson, and that showed today. So when they were going for runs, they were saying, no, it's fine, stick to your plans, we're being aggressive, we want to, inspire and entertain. And that's exactly what they were doing.
England, all being well from their point of view, will be batting at some stage tomorrow. It's going to be an extraordinary day if they're not. And they will expect, to be chasing, following something of around about sort of between 350 and 400. How do you think they'll approach it? We've heard a lot of talk, but how should they approach it, Alex?
Look, there's no demons in the wicket. I think, you still need to get into your innings. You can't just go out there and flash away first delivery. I mean, we did see that in the men's game, but I think still you got Tammy Beaumont, who's coming off a double 100. She knows her game. She knows how to score those big runs. I don't think it needs to change too much going out there. The sort of more aggressive batters, I guess, Nat herself, she'll probably score naturally at a fast rate without having to take too many risks. And you balance that throughout the order. Some of the more sort of anchor-style players like Beaumont and Knight, then the more aggressors in Siva Brunt, and then also Wyatt coming in at 6.
Would you agree with that? Do you think that's how things will shape up with this England side? There's not the sense that suddenly you're going to see Heather Knight trying the reverse scoop Joe Root style first ball that she faces.
And I absolutely hope so. I do know that's been a conversation with Heather, and not so much in this format, the test match format, but certainly in the white ball format. Looking to take people on earlier. Seeing less balls, if you like, rather than having, getting through your first 10, you get through your first 3 or 4. So I know that's 100% been a discussion with Louis, and I love that. I love that for everyone, because if everyone's buying in and everyone's doing it, everyone's feeding off everyone, and it becomes okay. Like when it's okay and it's accepted, then you just do it, and you live by the sword, you die by it, and that's hopefully what this team will become. It takes time, of course. Like you can't just suddenly change the way you play after doing it for what, if you include your county and your village cricket that you grew up with, it's like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, this is, you can't change overnight, and so they're buying in for sure, and you might see some crazy stuff like that.
What I gathered from listening to John Lewis last night was that it's not about going crazy every delivery. It is about recognising the moments when to put the foot on the gas and absorbing when you need to. And so I think the challenge for women's cricket in test matches is we don't play enough long formats to necessarily recognise those moments. So I think whether it's calling for a drink, saying, look, I feel good now, I'm going to look to take Eccleston out of the attack. What if someone today put the foot down to do that, recognise that moment. So I think England batters will be looking to absorb when they have to, but then find a way to really put the pressure back on Australia with some really aggressive periods of play.
Yeah, and that's what's going to be exciting, is it's this bit of a clash of styles. Just finally, Catherine, do you feel more or less confident having seen today's game or today's play ahead of the Ashes?
In terms of England?
In terms of England, yeah.
Winning. I feel like I am very much seeing what I thought I would see, and that is two very good teams going at it. I think we've all worked out this wicket a bit, and the amount of runs scored is reflective of that. The wickets that we have is great. there obviously has been some down. This happened in the men's game last week. Johnny missed a few opportunities, which can cost you big. Like that drop of Elise cost us 90 runs nearly, and that might be the difference. But everybody's giving it everything, and watching Australia, England go at each other is like the best thing. Like it is for me, it's the best thing to be a part of, and the most exciting. So what I'm seeing is exactly what I thought it would be, and I just hope that it's competitive throughout all 5 days.
So let's get some reaction. 2 wickets in an eventful debut for Lauren Filer, and she's been speaking to Alison Mitchell.
Lauren, congratulations, what a debut. Did you love every minute out there?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a bit of a surreal experience, but yeah, no, like you say, loved every minute.
First ball, Elise Perry. How close did you think the LB was?
Yeah, I did hear 2 noises, but I was hoping obviously it was pad first, but yeah, that was a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest. I didn't really know what was going on. Everyone just kind of jumped on me. But yeah, it was good to get the wicket obviously later on.
And you also did get Perry later on as well. Tell us about the sort of lead up to that wicket.
Yeah, I think it was just trying to go a bit fuller to her, and then obviously that one was a bit more back of the length. A few of the balls had carried over in that, so it was nice to see one carry to her.
Who did you have here watching today for your first run out in an England shirt?
My parents, my sister, boyfriend, and then a couple of people from my club as well, so they've all been supporting.
Is that Weston-super-Mare?
It is, yeah.
What have they done for you over the years from when you were growing up?
Oh, loads. They've always been really great with women's cricket, so they've supported me throughout my sort of career, so to speak. But yeah, and even now I get loads of messages from them saying good luck, and yeah, I feel like I'm completely backed by them, so it's great.
Was pace always your thing from a very young age?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always been quite tall and quite lanky, so I've always tried to run in hard and bowl quick. But yeah, the past couple of months I've probably put on a bit more pace, but I'm just really enjoying it.
Is there anyone that you looked up to when you were bowling, either that your action feeds into, anything like that?
No, not really. I've got a bit of a weird action actually. I hate watching myself bowl back. No, I wouldn't say so. I just like watching people bowl quick. Even the people nowadays like Mark Wood. It's just really enjoyable and entertaining, and that's what I want to bring as well.
And you have a twin sister as well, don't you, who's also in the cricket pathway. How much was there a lot of competition between the two of you when you were growing up?
Yeah, definitely. It started to go away a little bit once we went to uni, but yeah, there was definitely a lot of competition, a few arguments on the pitch. But yeah, no, she's great and she's supported me all the way as well.
Did you feel any nerves today? What was it like in the lead up to actually getting out there on the field?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was weird. I didn't really feel many nerves kind of during the morning, but as soon as I got on the pitch, the first 5 overs, I was very, very shaky and nervous. I just wanted to field the ball, and then once that happened, it was all right after that.
Did you know how long you were going to have to wait to come on to bowl? Was there any sense of that?
I reckon I had a bit of an inkling of when I was going to come on, but not really, no. It was kind of just a waiting game. That's what I want to do. So it was on edge every ball, waiting for the call.
So this pitch, these conditions, how do you feel it sort of played for England today, and what are you going to have to do tomorrow to get these last 3 wickets?
Yeah, it was quite tough. I mean, the ball wasn't moving a lot, and I think the pitch probably didn't have as much pace as we thought it was going to have. But yeah, definitely, I think you just got to bowl straight on something like this. And that's what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to try and swing the ball, obviously with the new ball coming out today. So yeah, we're going to try and swing the ball, bowl straight, get some edges.
And how good was Sophie Eccleston today?
Yeah, really good. She's a bit of a bowling machine, actually, wasn't she? 2 hours straight of bowling. It was ridiculous. I don't think I've seen anyone do that. But yeah, no, she's great, and she's a great person to have around the group as well.
Is that the partnership before she got those 2 quick wickets? There was a real chance that could have extended.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's probably something that was in the back of our minds. So the fact that Soph kind of broke through that partnership and got 2 wickets quite quickly, obviously, it felt like it put us on top.
And last thought, I mean, 82, 83 overs in the field. How's the body feeling?
Yeah, a bit sore. I'm not too bad. It's I'll be hopping in an ice bath in a minute, so hopefully I'll be all right by tomorrow.
They'll let you get in that ice bath. Well done, Lauren. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, we can hear now from the Australian camp. Elise Perry was out for 99, and she's also been speaking with Alison.
Well, Elise, what a day of Test cricket. Which team do you think is the happier after day one?
Oh, I think probably we've split the chocolate today. It was just a really great competitive game with some toing and froing in momentum certainly, and a really good tussle. I thought probably to finish the way that we did in those last couple of sessions tonight, after probably losing a few quick wickets after the rain delay, has given us some really good momentum tomorrow. But it certainly makes the first session in the morning really important.
You scored important runs, but I'm sure frustrated not to get to the 3-figure mark. You just played a lovely uppercut at the ball before. What happened for it not to work the second time?
I don't know, actually. I was just sort of threw my hands at it. And look, I thought Lauren Filer just bowled incredibly well the whole day. Good pace and sort of was always challenging. And that ball just had my number, and it's totally fine. But it was really enjoyable to spend some time out there. And it's a really great atmosphere today. I thought just a good day of Test cricket.
What was it like to face a debutante that you wouldn't have known, I guess, too much about, and bowling with good pace as well?
Bowled with really good pace and got a bit of seam on the ball. I think we might have faced her in the 100 once last year, but I think that's probably like one of the things that stands out with women's cricket at the moment, just how many impressive young players are coming on and how much 12 months makes in terms of their development. So she's been really important for this game. I think she's provided it with a great challenge for the batters, and obviously bowling with good pace is exciting to watch. So it was really cool to face her.
Did conditions out there change much after the rain break? So much difference in the pitch, did you sense?
Not massively so. I think maybe it just sort of slid on just that fraction more. I think balls, back of a length are sort of skidding on with a bit of pace, but if they're too short, they're sitting up. So it's a bit of an interesting surface. I don't know if a few grabbed there off Eccleston in the last couple of overs, which is promising for the days going ahead. But it was probably a pretty good batting wicket in a lot of respects.
The team as a whole, you've had so much success over England for so long. What's been the sort of feel to the build-up of this Test match compared to other Ashes series?
Yeah, I think it's been a big build-up actually, and I think we're coming up against a really confident English team that have been through a bit of change in the last little bit, and seem to be really believing in the way that they're playing, the style of play that John Lewis has introduced as coach, and probably a more mature side too that are been really benefited from an increasingly professional domestic system, and the girls playing more cricket. So I think it feels like probably the toughest Ashes series yet from recollection, and it's so exciting to be over here and be a part of that.
And I must ask about the Australian debutantes as well. We haven't seen Kim Garth yet, but Phoebe Litchfield, and she was out there with the bat as well. How did you feel she went?
Yeah, I thought she looks really, really great and comfortable out there. She's just such a natural stroke maker, and some of her cover driving this morning was just awesome to watch. She's obviously young and probably really excited about playing in her first Test, and it was a big occasion for her, but I thought she handled it really well. This is probably just one of those ones where she regrets the decision to let it go, but I thought Kate Cross bowled well at that point too. So for the girls to get off to the start that they did was really great, and so nice to see Phoebe in the whites. I think it's such a natural fit for her.
3 wickets in hand then going in tomorrow. What would you hope to push on up to from here?
Yeah, well, I think there's quite a lot of runs in the wicket out there, especially in the first couple of days. So, hopefully, Annabelle's looking really great. We've got a little bit of batting to come still, girls that can certainly hold a bat. So, as I said, I think the first session in the morning is really important for us. If we can get some momentum there, it'd be nice to push up close to 400 runs.